Stop, listen, react. This is about questions. Because guess what interviews are all about? They're answering questions. Yeah, if you go into an interview, you must expect to be able to answer lots of questions. Obvious, okay? So you need to practice, that's one. Get people to ask you some questions and practice your answers. And I mean practice your answers. Not just run them through in your head, practice speaking them out. Your answers to your questions. And this thing about questions, and the reason I put this as a stop, listen and react, is sometimes if you're not aware, if your antenna isn't up, you'll just give an answer and not necessarily answer the question. So you need to have this ability to stop, to pause, to actually listen to what is being said, and then to respond to it. You can tell I like cartoons. So the reason I want to encourage you to practice your responses to questions is because you could catch yourself out if you're not sure what you're going to say. And on one hand you could say something, and on the other hand you could say something else at a different point to a different question. A bit like this, go, yes, I can make this decision. Hang on a minute. Can I? And skilled interviewers, people who practice the interview, will be looking for it. So this is why I want you to get into the habit of practicing answering the questions. And if you get given a difficult question, one that makes you go, oh God, how am I going to answer that? Okay? Oh my God! Just taking a breath. Well, that's a really interesting question. Gives your brain time to process. Okay? And sometimes interviewers are just asking you a goddamn awkward question just to see how you react. Actually, we don't want to know the answer to the question. We're having a conversation about this, aren't we? Interesting. Okay? So you could kind of go, well, that's a really interesting question, and I really do want to answer it. Do you really want to hear my answer? And sometimes, guess what, they'll go, no. Because they just wanted to see how you react when they put you under pressure. So your reaction, your response is really kind of critical. Well, that's a really interesting question. And then by the time you've done that, you give yourself some answers. Anyway, we'll go,
What if they still want to know the answer and you still don't know it?
well, you have to have an answer. Yeah, you've got to have an answer. But what you've done is you've given yourself time, and it's so much better to just wait 3 seconds, which 3 seconds will feel like, hang on, an eternity if someone's just asked you a question, right? But actually those 3 seconds just give you such valuable thinking time. And I've already said to you, you've got this amazing, wonderful computer in your head, which if you practice answering questions like I've already told you that you should, the answer will just go, ding! And you'll go, oh, I know the answer! And it will just come tumbling out. The more that you try to find the answer in your head, the less it's going to come. So you need to create yourself some space. And just silence is amazing. Well, what I think is even more space and time to be thinking about how you answer the question. What I'm saying to you is be aware, pause, and don't just babble on. Okay? So we have lots of different types of behavioural stuff, and I'm just going to touch very minutely on a bit of behavioural stuff here around Carl Jung's work of psychology, just so you're on that going on the theorists. But there's 2 types of people in terms of their energy, okay? So there are people who are known as extroverted, as you probably all know, heard these terms before, and they are people who get their energy from the outside world. So they are a bit like a big solar panel, and they suck up energy from that that's going on around them, okay? These types of people, I am one, I don't know if you've noticed, like to talk things out loud. Oh, that's a really interesting question. I'm wondering what I might say. Well, when I was back at Ronseal and I did X, Y, and Z, yes, I think what I'm going to say is, and this person's sitting there, what are you talking about? And they were talking out loud. The other end of that psychological scale is introversion. These are people who get their energy from inside of themselves, a bit like a Duracell bunny, battery inside. They are the sort of people who think and then respond. So they'll go, And when the words come out of their mouth, they will be good. Because they've taken the time to think about it before they speak. Now, there are foibles for both of those, but in interview, it's really good to learn to have the patience to allow the time and think before you speak. And going back just momentarily to this thing about the rapport, you need to be noticing it from